Diving headfirst into Frenship athletics. You're listening to the Tiger Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. This is the High School Fan Zone. I'm just tired thinking about those young people running the 400 still. Chad Reynolds, did you ever run track? You were busy and playing baseball. So
I ran until my 8th grade year, and then I'll never forget the city meet my 8th grade year as the happiest day of my life because I didn't have to do it again because I knew I was playing baseball.
Well,
after that,
I'll tell you why. I had a happy day like that. It had nothing to do with track. Well, I'll explain it to you in a minute here. But I'm going to guess you played for a football coach, though, that if you weren't playing baseball, he'd have told you,
he
went out there and run track.
You wanted to be doing something,
yep.
Competing, doing something in the spring. And so, I was glad I was a baseball player. Well,
and I'll say this again. Chad was a really good baseball player. He was a really good football player at Frenship. Wound up playing baseball at Texas Tech, but you've been coaching a while. We decided you're the longest tenured coach in Lubbock now, right?
Well, I guess so.
Maybe in any sport.
I hadn't thought about that.
Jill retired.
Just says there's a lot of gray in my beard. That's all that's saying.
Preaching to the choir. And you've got one daughter. I've got two. So figure.
Yeah.
So, what's up, guys? Grab the mic. Let Coach introduce you themselves. I'm going to have you say something so people know you by voice.
You bet. So we got Ryan Mongelli's right-handed pitcher and outfielder for us. He's having a heck of a year, just like we expected. And we've also got Jaden Johnson. JJ's playing third for us. He plays second. He's played anywhere in the infield, and he's really got it going offensively for us this year. So he's having a good year, and he's factored in on the mound just a little bit.
Yep,
he doesn't know, but he's going to factor in a lot more before it's over. So we're glad these guys are with us this year.
Now, Ryan, are you done being mad at Coach? You told me you were mad at him the other day.
Yes, sir. I think it was pretty smart to get me out.
Well, because your bullpen came in and took care of you. I want to throw some bouquets here to Jaden, and I mentioned this in the story I wrote. The game I covered was Midland High. You were the only guy who didn't get hit that game. It didn't phase you whatsoever. You made a huge play at third base that helped you guys win the game. That impresses me when high school guys are that locked in. So that comes from being older.
Yes, sir.
I know you used to play across the street for Coach Northcutt. So
yes, sir. Did.
Let's see if you know this. You know that dude to your left was a pretty good football player?
Yes, sir. I've heard some stories about him.
He doesn't like to talk about it. He was.
Yes, sir.
There's that correlation between football and baseball. It's not by accident. There's a reason one helps the other. You a football guy, or you strictly baseball?
I've been baseball since I stopped playing football after my freshman year.
All right.
Yes, sir.
But you're part Italian, so I can. You're speaking my language.
Yes, sir.
This is a different team, Chad. You kept saying it before the season, and I think I told you last time you guys were on, when you got up and talked before the UMB Classic, you were downright bubbly about how good offensively you guys could be, and I thought, either blowing smoke or something. But then watching you guys play, this is a different kind of offensive team than you've had.
Yeah, all year we feel like we have a really long lineup, and it's one of those that, if the certain guys don't get it done, man, the next guy, he's got a chance to. We feel like anybody in our lineup can. And, for example, this past weekend, Javi Jimenez, our 9-hole hitter, yep. On Friday in 2 games, I think he got out once, and that was because the umpire made a bad call. He was safe on the one time he was called out. So, and he's hitting in the 9-hole. It's just guys are they're mature offensively. It's a mature team, and we haven't been perfect. The first game on Friday that Jacoby Dutch over, the left-hander going to Houston, he was pretty good. And when there's a left-hander that's really good, that's tough on a left-handed dominant lineup. So, we struggle a little bit with him. But, for the most part all year, our guys have just they've done a really good job of just competing and moving on and not pressing. And JJ's a guy that you just spoke of. He made an adjustment really early this spring, and he felt it. He felt that adjustment. Just started kind of getting a little more extension through the baseball, and and he felt it, and man, he got hot and is having a really good year for us.
It's maybe the difference between football and baseball. You can get hot in baseball, and you better ride it because all of a sudden it can change.
Baseball is a cruel game, and the other night he had a tough day, and I could see it in his face, and I said, "Hey, you're not perfect, dude. Relax. Go on. It's all right."
But
he knows.
The other part of it is, like I said, you may not be doing it up there with the stick, but you go out there and you can contribute with your glove or throwing the ball across the plate, which your right-hander was pretty good the game I saw.
He sure was.
Coming up on a break, we'll talk about who the Tigers have played recently, who they're heading into this week. This is another big week in District 2-6A. We'll be back after this break on the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Your inside look into Frenship sports. This is the Tiger Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. This is the High School Fan Zone on a Wednesday night. I'm Randy Rosetta. We're on 100.7 The Score and Fox 34 now on TV. With me and Chad are the two guys with the gray and the beard, and the two young guys in the middle are the players, in case you couldn't tell. Tigers are, let me call it up here, 13-7. Is that how?
I think so.
2-1 in district. Your district just got started one weekend, and I asked a coach, Lamar Kello, asked him today if he would like the way your district sets up district play. And yeah, but you can't do it in 4A baseball because you don't have quite as many arms to try out there. I think I've asked you before. You like this setup because then I mentioned it in my story. This is very college baseball-ish.
I do. I think it's the way baseball should be played. You got to develop a pitching staff, and we talked about it yesterday with our guys. We've had 18 pitchers pitching a game for us this year, and which is a lot. And so, and we trust a lot of those guys, and it's intentional because they never know when they're going to be needed in a 3-game series. We've got our 3 starters that have been starting for us, and there's going to be days where maybe they're not feeling good, or maybe it's just not their day, and we need to get somebody in there pretty quick. And so we feel like we've got a bullpen, but we've kind of built our team knowing that early in their career. We know who we got to have a lot of pitchers, and so. But I like it. I think this will probably be our last year to do that because we'll move into 5A, and I have no idea how that'll work, but
it'll be a lot of games.
It's going to be a mess with 10 teams, but it's fun. This deal's fun. It makes for a fun series.
I will tell you that, and if Brad Bibbs listens, he knows what I'm going to say. They do have what I call the Tim Haynes rule in that district, in that they play each other back to back.
Oh yeah.
That's because a few years ago,
you don't see that guy twice.
3 times.
Oh, yeah.
They had to play him 3 times.
That's right.
Every time Tim Haynes was on the mound. And I think Brad finally said, look, we figured something out. And it makes sense. So
sure.
They may, and maybe if they go 3 games, you'll see something like that. What about you guys? Are you both planning or hoping to play college baseball?
Yes, sir. I'm hoping to have a good year at Odessa and get on somewhere else.
What about you, Jaden?
Yes, sir. I'm still looking to go somewhere. Hoping to have a good year and get looked at, get recruited.
Because, as I said, college baseball, there's not these days off. You don't get you can get to the weekend. It's going to be boom, boom, boom. You have a pretty good guy to throw out there on a Friday night and a Thursday night.
Yeah.
I'll call him your Thursday night starter for now because that's what I saw. You need somebody to go out there and say, this is how we're going to throw. This is what we're going to compete. And that's what he did Thursday that night I was out there.
Yeah, absolutely. He, a year ago, he could have been one of our guys a year ago, but, man, we really liked him at the back end of the game. And, it shortened our games last year because we had that guy to come in. And but we knew his role was going to change this year. And he's that guy that we want to throw out there to set the tone of the series. And he did a good job last weekend, and hopefully tomorrow night he'll do the same down in Midland.
You like that role, Ryan? You like being the guy that gets the ball first on a weekend like that?
Yes, sir. I love just going out and attacking kids. I like to see what they can do.
Now, you mentioned Friday, Midland High came back and got you because they're number 2 guy was pretty dang good.
Hey, he was. And you know what? Brody Prather threw game 2 for us, and we gave up 5 runs in the first, and I think he was throwing pretty good. It just baseball happened. They had some 2-strike hits off the end of the bat and some jam shots, and we lose a ball in left. It's that kind of twilight. And it dropped. That just, it's a routine thing, and we look up and we're down 5-0, and I'm thinking, dang, he's throwing the ball pretty good. And that's really all they had. They scored a couple more after that late, but if that deal doesn't happen, it's a totally different game, and things are handled a little bit different. There's a little more pressure on Dutchover, and it could have worked out differently, but it didn't, and so that's the way the game goes. But and then Nick Mendoza came in and threw game 3 and really threw the ball well and competed at a high level. So I was proud of all, and we had some relievers come in that I was proud of all of our pitching last weekend.
You got the bats going in that third game. For Jaden, real quick, you're one of the hitters. When a series is going like that, when you split, you want to get that third one. Does that fire you up even more offensively to know we got to do something here to set a tone?
Yes, sir. I think especially when we win the first one the way we did, and then they come back and win, kind of get backed up, but we like to hit our way out of it, and it fires our bats up to attack early in counts and often.
I think I went back when I finished the story. I think everybody had to hit that game. Either everybody did something. When you score 15 runs in a game, that's going to happen. So.
Yeah, a lot of guys contributed.
This week, real quick, Midland Legacy on the road Thursday. Come here for a doubleheader starting Friday at 4:30. District 2-6A baseball. I love the setup. We'll be back after this break to talk Lubbock Cooper softball in the Pirate Fan Zone after we'll come back on 100.7 The Score.